One of the biggest problems I faced when trying to make YouTube videos online was trying to take all of my ideas that I had and turn it into videos, turn it into something tangible, something real. And the problems I was facing was I had my 3D self, I had my complex self, I was so interested in so many different things. And how was I supposed to take and pick one niche and try to make videos on that? Should I do, gear reviews? Should I do spirituality, yoga? Should I do gym? Like all of these, like anime, all of these things were trying to collide or fighting against themselves within me. And I couldn't really pick one. And I tried to, choose between doing video essays of things and that. And nothing really felt me, right? It was only a part of me. And that battle or that journey, I think a lot of creatives face as well when they're trying to have their ideas and turn it into something reality. And what happens is that we get stuck, right? We try to play into these algorithms. We have our 3D self, and we try to take that and turn it into our 2D model, into the algorithms, into trying to make a great thumbnail and title and play into that game. And that ends up draining all of our creativity. If you ever had this crazy idea and you started to write it down and try to make it into a YouTube video, and then you were stuck immediately right when you were like, oh shit, how am I going to turn this into a thumbnail and title? That's what I'm talking about here. But what's great about this is that a lot of people face this. A lot of people face this inner struggle, this procrastination, this perfectionism, this overwhelming loneliness, right? Because you're not able to take your creativity, your ideas, and showcase it to the world. Instead, they mumble about in your brain, and then they fade away. And there's two sides to this. There's the inner side and the outer side. And I want to talk first about the inner side because I think it's more important. For me and my journey, I think a lot of it comes down to how I was treated as a gifted kid in a way. And my parents and my aunt always told me that I was so smart, I was so gifted, I had so much talent, I had so much potential, right? And this struggle, I didn't know it in the beginning. I kind of just brushed it off. And as I started to grow up, that ego or that identity held on. And I was trying to perform my best in academia and trying to get the best grades, trying to get the best scores on tests. And all that led to this perfectionism that I started to hold on to, this super highly perfectionistic model. And that led me to be like a procrastinator throughout all my life because I was too scared to not do anything subpar, right? And what ended up happening is all of these good faith comments from my parents, they were just trying to support me. These good faith comments actually became a burden, and I didn't know how to organize that in my mind. They became a big burden on me, and whenever I tried to make anything creative, it would always be that idea that it wasn't good enough, that it wasn't perfect, right? And I really struggled with making any content, taking any of my ideas and turning it into something tangible. The cool thing is, when you're trying to perform for the algorithm, or you're trying to perform for your parents or family or anybody else, what ends up happening is all of these expectations from your former self creep up, and they're so emotional, so raw, that you're going to be stuck. You're not going to be able to do it. It's a big mindset change to turn from that external world and go inside and try to figure out and reconnect with your inner child and see that those expectations, those burdens kind of lift off. It takes a long time, and I'm not going to try and profess that through this YouTube video you'll able to fix all your problems and turn your ideas and all of those stuff into videos that you want to make or any other creative project. What I'm here to try and express is my creative journey and how now I'm able to create the things that I want to be doing and express myself online authentically. There was a mindset change that happened, but this happened after I was able to do a lot of spiritual work, a lot of yoga, a lot of meditation, a lot of time in nature silently. and really work and profess to myself, or to work through all those creative blocks. And that happened through years and years of work. I'm not talking about watching a single YouTube video and you'll be fixed, right? Doing all that inner work allowed me to now be in this mindset of, hey, are you trying to perform for yourself, or are you trying to create for others? And for me right now, I'm in a state where I'm creating for myself. I'm seeing if I can make something I can be proud of, just like I was when I was making those YouTube videos, those montages back in the day when there were no expectations. It was just all for fun. And I'm trying to reconnect with that younger self of mine. And the cool thing that will happen is once you do all the hard work, or do all the inner work, and you create something that you are proud of, and you put it out into the world, you'll see that it'll resonate with people. And those people, stay attuned to them, because it's super exciting to build a community around you, not like a niche. You. I'm talking about all facets, your 3D version of yourself. It's so exciting. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. That's more of like the transformation that happens when you put in the inner work and you go through this mindset change. The other part I want to talk about is actually the outer side, and that's more of the systems that need to be in place to try and take your ideas and turn it into something tangible. And that mainly goes with having a system that you can quickly go to and write down those ideas that come up. Because what ends up happening is, and I know it has happened to me a lot, was when I was in the shower or right before bed, and I have this crazy dream or idea, and I don't write it down. I know I'll remember it, but what ends up happening is 5 minutes later or the next morning, I completely forgot it, and I was like, oh my God, how did I miss this great idea? And I was so upset at myself for not writing it down. So the simple system I do is, you want to get like your easiest way of taking notes. For me, that's on my phone, on my app, on my notes app, just like a basic notes app that comes with the iPhone. And additionally, anywhere where I can write it down, like with a pen and paper, so I have a journal. And what's really nice about that is I'm able to take those ideas, I'm able to write it down and expand upon that in my journal, and kind of work it into some sort of video that I can make about some ideas that coalesce into a final product. And it's crazy, it's super exciting, because then you start stacking up all of these ideas. I have like 6-7 journals at this point, and just meshing all of those ideas together of your former selves and now of your present self, and taking all those ideas and connecting the dots basically, and creating something that you can be proud of. So that's super exciting. Anyways, the last part that I wanted to talk about was, how am I going to be strict about the system that I need to put in place of working on your inner self? You know, of course, everyone tells you to do yoga, do meditation, go to the gym. And what ends up happening is we, watch a YouTube video, we're transformed, and we do it for like 2-3 days, and afterwards it disappears. That habit isn't in place. And what's been the most beneficial for me is to have a community, or an accountability partner, or accountability community, right? And for me, during the gym, when I was first getting started, I would go with my best friend, Mike. And that's what helped me be accountable and turn gym into a habit, into something that it was like brushing your teeth, right? And it's super exciting, because having that accountability partner is so valuable. It's like people pay thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars to have just that accountability, right? Because you're smart enough, you're able to do it. At the same time, having that support, having the people behind you and supporting you is so much more impactful. It's gonna get you results a lot quicker. And at the end of the day, when you finished creating what you wanted to do, or finished the video, you can share it to the world, and especially the community that helped you get there. And that's become super exciting, because then you have a community of creatives who are also passionate about things that you're passionate about. And it's just this upward cycle of community expression. And that's what gets really exciting. And for me, I'm creating a little WhatsApp group of creatives who also want to stay on that journey. We're going to be doing weekly calls, little Q&As, little sessions that if you're struggling with anything creative or the process, the inner work, the outer work, everything, it's going to tackle all of that stuff. And I'm going to be leading it, as well as doing weekday yoga sessions. So check that out. I'm also going to be just being that accountability for the community, because I will also have to, I got to set the standard. I got to make these videos and express myself online. And for me now, I can do it by myself, but it's a lot more fun when there's a community behind what you're doing. So anyways, that's it for me. I'm going to the gym. Have a nice day. Bye.